Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into episode number 49 of Playing with House Money. I am the head of the SGC, Iceman, up at Iceman_1013. And this right here is my co-host, DJ Pru, the live bet king at PruBaby10. How are we doing today, this fine Thursday?
I'm doing good now. I was able to cool down.
Yeah.
I was able to cool down and refocus. So
we got the unmentionables off the chest.
Yeah.
And that's Who Pissed Off Pru. Went live a couple of hours ago. Find that on our YouTube channel at PW_House Money. While you're there, please like, subscribe for all of the content. You get all of our Thursday episodes. And then on Friday, if you haven't seen, we have a brand new show. The Frat House goes out on College Football Nation. Shout out to them. That's when Pru goes through the college football slate for the weekend. Today, we focus on the professional football, and up first, a Thursday night special. Houston Texans, the depleted at this point, very depleted on the wide receiving core, at least. Houston Texans going up against the New York Jets.
Because we just need another Aaron Rodgers primetime game. It's just I don't get it.
That's what they signed up for, right? That's why you went there for. Do we put on prime time every other week?
To show us a bunch of stinkers.
Yep. And then, we've mentioned many times, CJ Stroud struggling this year, even when he had Nico and Stephon Diggs to pass the ball to. He'd struggled, right? As far as replicating what he did last season. Going up against the New York pass defense. I've talked about the New York defense before. Like, they haven't had the toughest run, but they're not giving up a ton of yards. And the Houston pass defense. These are the second and third best passing defenses in the league at this point in time. So we've seen CJ struggle. We've seen some of the struggles that, the New York offense have had getting it rolling, even with Rodgers now with his best friend Devontae back. Garrett Wilson, he's not, something is not clicking on that offense right now.
Yeah, so, Rodgers.
I mean,
he's washed.
I like a big run game. Both of these defenses are a middle of the pack run defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, the lines are pretty low for what they are, to be honest. So, I'm all over some big games from Joe Mixon and Breece Hall tonight.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So third week in a row. Oh, my boy Tank. Because who the hell between him and Dalton Schultz, who the hell are we throwing it to, guys?
This is fair.
So we're gonna keep that trend going. Last week I said for Tank to score on the show.
Yep.
Tank scores. But of course, me being the genius I am, I went with Tank's yards on my own personal plays. So what I'm not gonna do is flip-flop again. I'm gonna take the yards. So everybody should play Tank Dell anytime touchdown at plus 170 because of that.
And the receptions.
Yes, definitely. Because knowing my luck, he'll end up with 11 catches and 33 yards.
Yeah.
But 60 plus is minus 105, and I love that. And then Dalton Schultz he's plus 135 for only 50 yards, and he got a ton of targets last game. So, I like those two. And then I know we are heavy on the run game. I do agree with that, but I needed Breece Hall to get 25 receiving yards last week.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the 1 week he just doesn't get any catches. And he ends up with 14. So I'm running that back at 25 plus receiving yards at minus 175. And then is this the week that Adams scores and not just doing cardio out there? I don't even want to say yardage because I'm nervous about that because holy hell, the guy just is not getting the ball. But I mean, plus 130 for it anytime. I don't hate it.
No.
I mean, I do, but I don't.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, when are we're gonna do something, right? We're not gonna leave Sin City for no reason, right? Like, and I know it's not like, it's like, oh, he went from Vegas to New York. It's not even a downgrade really, but like, you could have had a lot more fun in Vegas legally.
Yeah.
Legal. You could have had a lot more fun legally in Vegas than you could have had out here out in New York to just be running around doing cardio and cuddling with Aaron Rodgers. So like, do something, man, especially for the namesake, bro. Come on. From Devontae Pruitt to Devontae Adams. Can we fucking do something? Please.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't. Again. It's one or the other, right? He's throwing to him and to Garrett Wilson. There's no reason why they both can't score. To be honest, there's enough to go around. Like Garrett went for 115 yards last week, and they gave the touchdown to Gibson, the wide receiver. Against the Patriots, he threw the ball 13 times to wide receivers in the entire game. He made 28 passing attempts, right? He threw only 13 of those to wide receivers, 8 to Wilson, 6 to Adams, 1 to Gibson, and the 1 to Gibson was the touchdown. So what? Like, just you don't target these guys in the red zone? Like Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver of the last however many years, that you've scored however many passing touchdowns, that you just don't want to pass to him anymore.
Like you just can't throw that back shoulder anymore. You just can't throw that back shoulder pass anymore to Devontae Adams, not Rodgers.
And then I don't know. Garrett Wilson is still eating somehow, but
I mean, we kind of expected it just because he wouldn't get doubled all the time. But like, holy shit, is Devontae Adams your friend or not?
Like,
what the fuck, bro? You don't like him no more? He came to New York a different person? You're like, man, I want it to be the big spoon.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do. They've got to pass it to someone. You're right. I mean, Vegas have both of these receivers at over 220 passing yards. So those passing yards have got to go to someone. So them going to Tank Dell. Again, CJ Stroud, 223, 222.5 is his line. I mean, I guess you're right. He's got to pass it to someone.
Yeah.
Who's getting those yards? Xavier Hutchinson or John Mechie?
Right.
But coming out of nowhere, like it has to. The ball has to go somewhere.
I don't hate a Mechie touchdown either, though.
No. But yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't shocked, but I mean, he struggled in New England. He struggled at Green Bay.
Yeah.
I just don't know that he's going. I just don't know that he's going for like 250. He might get that 225, but I don't know.
Yeah, especially
I prefer.
Hassan Reddick might look good too.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Mixon has, since he's come back from injury, has looked phenomenal.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he's had 100+ yards in each of the 3 games since he came back. 25 carries in each of the last 2 games. I just don't see how, with the wide receiver depletion that they have, that they don't lean on him again for 20+ carries. And his line is at 81.5 rushing yards. So I can't not take that. On the other side of the ball, you've got obviously Breece Hall, who he didn't necessarily struggle against New England. He went for 80 yards, but he did struggle in the primetime game against Pittsburgh. And I know that Braylon Allen has been getting some carries, but I just don't see how, again, Breece is the guy. Like,
right.
He's going to get carries. He's going to, like, Rodgers can't throw it every time. So, yeah, I mean, Brees's line is at 66.5. So I feel like both of those are lower than I was expecting.
For sure.
In a game, like I say, where you've got two fairly decent, pass defenses. So yeah, taking both of those as straights, they're better on FanDuel, but for the parlay, if you want to play them together, it's better to take the extra couple of yards for each on DraftKings. You get plus 330 on DraftKings for 84 for Mixon and 68 for Brees instead of on FanDuel for 82 and 67. It's like plus 260.
Yeah.
So as always with FanDuel, they scam you out of the parlays when you put when you do the same game parlay. But then both of them to go 100 rushing and receiving yards, because I do think that they both get 2 or 3 catches.
Yeah.
Both of them to go 100 plus rushing, receiving, and both score a touchdown is plus 550 on FanDuel. And if you want to push the boat out, both 100 rushing yards on DraftKings is plus 1,900. So, just in case it goes that way and they both get 25 carries, then I'll be playing that one tonight.
Yeah, especially with a Thursday game, I'm sure. Yeah, both teams are trying to pound the rock. So
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, like we said, please like, subscribe at PW_House Money. Find us on Twitter as well. Follow us on there. Download Fantasy Zone. We're about halfway through the fantasy season right now. But you track all of your fantasy scores in one place with that app. And yeah, we roll on to Sunday. No early games again this week, which I must say I don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, last week I liked a lot of the underdogs. And hey, we got a couple. I definitely think there was some in there, like if I can't remember what the spreads were now, but if you took a bunch of underdog spreads, like plus 6 and 7s, you could have made a ton of money last week. I know you had a couple. We had the Eagles.
Yeah, Philly plus
Eagles
3.
came to
Philly plus 3 was plus 100. And I told everybody I had no idea why that was the case. So
yeah. And so yeah, last week was kind of the week of the underdog for the most part. But this week I see a complete opposite. Like I there's not many dogs out there this week that I like at all, to be honest.
No.
I was trying to find. See, no. Not after watching Who Pissed Off Pru earlier today. I'm not going anywhere near taking this Chicago Bears team
especially at that 1.5. Especially not at 1.5 points. You might as well take the money line at that point. Actually, I won't even say that because knowing our luck, we would lose by 1.
But yeah, no, there's not many of them. Like, some real horrible games out there, like Saints Panthers. Don't really want anything to do with that game.
Yeah, no, and then the Panthers are giving Deontay Johnson to the Ravens.
Yep.
That
would be the one. That would be the one. I know, like the Panthers have been horrible for the most part, and it's a case of, certainly from a fantasy perspective, it's like everyone start your players against the.
That'd be the one.
What?
That would be the underdog you would take?
Yeah, the Panthers against Spencer Rattler. But it's if Spencer Rattler plays. Like, if Derek Carr is back, then absolutely not. But if it's Rattler again, like if he gets to go again, then I might take the Panthers. That would be the one I would contemplate, just because of how terrible the Saints looked against the Chargers. And how terrible they looked the week before.
That game was hilarious.
Against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Like Bo Nix in the last 2 games has, and again, I know his last game was against Carolina. Bo Nix looked very good, but that's against this Carolina Panthers defense.
Yeah, the 30-year-old rookie.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that would be that would be the one I would take. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm going with some alt spreads, shall we say, on some of the favored teams. Just not quite at, like what we say. I'm not taking the 9s and 10s.
Right.
I'm taking them at like -6.5.
What you got?
Huh?
Who you got? Who are your favorites?
So Ravens hosting the Broncos. They're -9.5 on the main spread you get. So I'm taking them at -6.5. I think they to win by a cover. So that's basically what they're taken by cover by a touchdown, not quite 10 points. Because again, once you get into that, like, it's a lot. But I expect Baltimore to bounce back fully after last week.
Florida State,
Bengals.
Jameis Winston. That was crazy. Jameis Winston was at Florida State again. That shit was crazy. I was like, I've seen this guy before.
Yep. Taking the Bengals, basically saying, again, just were made to look silly by the Eagles, really. I mean, I know Jalen Hurts went in 3 times from the 1, but they
Shout out
host
to
the
my
Raiders.
fantasy team. Shout out to my fantasy team that got 40 points out of him. Didn't matter. Love it.
So Bengals are -7.5 on the money line, on the spread against the Raiders. So again, I just lowered that to 6.5. And another home team favorite, the Buffalo Bills, hosting the Miami Dolphins. They're -5.5. So I took them at -2.5.
Okay.
So yeah, the Bills to win by 3, Baltimore and Cincy to win by 7 is +334 for the 3. And then I did degen it a little bit and threw in two money lines, which would be the Titans to beat the Patriots in Tennessee. They're a 3.5 point favorite, and the Commanders to beat the Giants in New York. They're 3.5 point favorites as well. And all 5 of those is +900.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. I went looking specifically for 2 lines today that I didn't have yet, but I wanted Derrick Henry 2+, Josh Allen 2+.
Okay.
I wanted both of those to score 2 times. I feel like Josh Allen just always kind of shits on the Miami Dolphins. He's going crazy on everybody this year, but I really do love those 2 lines, and then I really do love those 2 looks. And then what's crazy is I was thinking of doing the Raiders. I was thinking of doing the Raiders +6.5 because of how they looked last week against Kansas City. Those are my 3 main that I was looking at. I just feel like that game that the Vegas Raiders had was just they played their tempo as much as they could, and then obviously you're playing the Chiefs, so it's a little bit tougher. But I don't hate those 3. And yeah, obviously it's New England, so you know who I'm gonna say on New England that I'm rocking with this week.
Yep.
My boy Ramondre. But man, what's crazy is Antonio Gibson's looked really good for them. Antonio Gibson's looked really good for them, so I do like him at 25+ receiving yards as well. I didn't have all the props, guys, so I don't have the odds, but you guys can get that play.
Josh Allen, they've got Josh Allen 2+ now is at +600.
Love it. Sign me up.
But yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry needs 1. Is he at 499 career?
Yeah. Yep.
So he's definitely getting 1, right? Like
he's definitely getting 1, but it'd be like -230.
Yeah. That's yeah. So yeah, I like the for 2 there. And then yeah, I mean, Gardner Minshew. I'm never gonna never going to hate you back in the boy Gardner. So
I already knew.
But
I knew I'd have the backup for that one, but I didn't think you'd go against him the way you did. So,
I mean,
can I blame you?
It's just
right.
I don't know.
Hey, it's not where the money resides.
No, but I mean, yes, he did step up and threw his 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, which was a good thing against that Chiefs defense. But I mean, he's coming off the back of a 3 interception game against the Rams. So it's which one are you going to get? You either get Gardner Minshew that puts up 200 yards and rushes for 25 and he scores you 3 touchdowns, or you get 0 touchdowns. And it's which one turns up. We'll keep it close, right? Like that'll be whether it's a close game or not.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, again, Joe Burrow is also not.
I mean, he played really well to start the game last week, but it was just too much for him.
Yeah, like he's not been the same.
Higgins.
Like he had that one game against Baltimore earlier in the season, which was a shootout, where he threw for 400 yards. But yeah, he's not. They're struggling at 3 and 5, so it's not a foregone conclusion, which is why I lowered the spread anyway. So yeah, I mean, if you can get the Raiders at +10 anywhere, I know you said you would take the lower, like the +6.5, but I think that dependent on where you're looking, you're getting 7. You might get 7.5, 8 in some places. I wouldn't mind. They're +7 on DraftKings. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, if like taking them at like +10, +7.5, yeah, because that covers. I get Bengals at -6.5, Raiders at +8. Bengals win by a touchdown, cash both. Maybe.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think it will be a complete blowout.
Yeah. I mean, it will be if I bet that 6.5.
Well, yeah. Obviously, you need to let the people know on Sunday morning that you've actually placed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Throw that in there with the Bears money line.
No.
That was a joke. You're not taking them. You're not taking them plus.
Because I purposely bet the Bears +4.5 last week because I knew that damn Hail Mary would happen somehow. I looked at my buddy. I said, I don't bet money lines. He told me like the first quarter. I don't like betting money lines. I got to think against it. And then I remembered the night before, a lot of people celebrated Halloween. There's a lot of Halloween parties last Saturday. And then I remembered we have a 22-year-old starting quarterback and a young team for the most part. And yeah, Halloween's right now. So
yeah,
I know that there will be a lot of celebrations again this weekend. Because it's the US and we don't give a fuck about dates. We're just gonna celebrate wherever the fuck we have an excuse to celebrate. So I'm not taking no damn Bears money line, but I enjoyed the joke. Party har har. Hey, and before we go, I just want our listeners to know this motherfucker's betting against Freddie Freeman. He wants Freddie Freeman to lose, y'all. This guy wants Freddie Freeman to lose, bro. He's a Chiefs fan and he's rooting for the Yankees. We're having enough. Hey, nail him to the stake. Get him betting against Freddie. It's insane. Yeah, I just want our listeners to know just before we go, that you fake and you bet against Freddie.
I wasn't betting against him. I bet on him to score a home run. I bet on him to score a home run. That's not like that's not betting against him.
Don't do that. You're rooting on Freddie's downfall. Fake, y'all.
Anyway.
It's a Freddie Freeman stand. This is a Freddie Freeman stand account, and he better damn it believe it.
It is. Let us know what you're playing for the game tonight. Check out Playing with House Money present the Frat House tomorrow for all of your college football Friday Night Lights stuff. Swept Friday night last week, right?
Yes, sir. Again.
Yep.
Let them know. It's a party at the Frat House, man.
Party at the Frat House, Friday Night Lights. Check it out on CFB Nation tomorrow. Join us then. Let us know what you're playing for tonight, what you're playing for this Sunday's games, and best of luck. And we'll catch you next week playing with more house money.
Yes, sir.